All right, welcome everybody to today's Ninja Skill Booster, Human Not Superhero. Such a pleasure to be here with you all. Not a 30-minute session this morning, a quick blast of thoughts and ideas around what is this ninja idea of human, not superhero, and some time for some personal reflection as well. As we know in our ninja sessions, it really is good to have some time to reflect and think about what am I actually going to do as a result of this session. So human, not superhero. For those of you that haven't met me before, my name is Matt and I am a productivity ninja. I think most people in the group today have probably done sessions with myself or one of our trainers before. Julie's with us as well. Julie, did you want to say a quick hello? I think Julie's turned the camera off there.
Hi, I'm here. Yes, wanted to say hi. Good morning. The other Ninja Julie.
Thanks, Julie. Thanks for coming along and welcome everyone. Here are my contact details and our business contact details. You can get in touch with us at any stage through some of these channels. Our vision at Think Productive, for those of you that haven't seen this before, is creating a work revolution where everyone loves Mondays. Now that's a big call, but that's our vision. That's what we're working towards here every day. That's what gets us out of bed on these windy, cold mornings in Sydney and wherever you are around the country or the world. So thank you again for joining us. Think Productive, the company, was founded by Graham Alcott, who wrote this book you can see on the screen, How to Be a Productivity Ninja. We achieve our vision by running in-house workshops for companies, by doing one-on-one coaching, by doing webinars like this, all different ways we can support people to reduce stress and enjoy our work a little bit more. That's what it's all about at Think Productive. Today, we're focusing on one of our 9 ninja characteristics. So many of you would have seen these 9 ninja characteristics before. Today, we're focusing on human, not superhero, which is the last one. And often I talk about this one first in our workshops because this is the thing that I believe makes our productivity ninja training so human, so grounded, so real world, is this idea of human, not superhero, that we are humans. Sometimes we can look like superheroes as we get our productivity skills up and running. And we need to remember that we're human. We need to remember to look after ourselves. We need to remember that we are animals in this body that we have the privilege of inhabiting with our soul, just to get a little bit deep there for a minute. So what we're going to talk about today, our humanness and our brains. What is it with our brains? You know, let's learn a little bit more about our brains and how we work as humans. Fuel, the importance of having the right fuel to sustain our energy and focus. Now, in this area, we're focusing on the physical fuel, if you like, the nutrition, the diet, the hydration. We do need to also think about the right fuel for our brains in terms of what are we reading, what are we listening to, etc. The importance of taking breaks. We're not actually taking a break in this session today because it is only 30 minutes, but we will talk about the importance of taking breaks throughout your day, throughout your working day and any day of life, the importance of having breaks. And how to create a culture of human in your workplace. So how do we do this? What are some things we can do? And as I mentioned, there's time for some personal reflection and some note taking. So grab a pen and paper, scribble down lots of notes. The recording of this will also be sent to you afterwards. And stay with us right till the end because we do have some giveaways at the end as normal. So if there's any questions, please put them in the chat. I'm happy to answer any questions as we go or towards the end of the session. So one of the first things to think about with human, not superhero, is how our brains work and the fact that we are humans and we make mistakes. And quite often when we're in this space of making mistakes or fearing the fact that we might make a mistake, we go into this lizard brain mode. We can go into these natural instincts of fight and flight or freeze. This often leads to procrastination, but it's good to understand that we do make mistakes. Sometimes just taking a few deep breaths to recover, sharing our mistakes with others. Like this is embracing our human, not superhero, rather than getting stuck when we either make a mistake or fear the fact that we might be going to make a mistake. Now, when we think about how our brains work, there's a neuropsychologist whose name is Dr. Rick Hanson. I'll put his name in the chat for you here. Dr. Rick Hanson. Dr. Hanson describes the brain as being Teflon for the good and Velcro for the bad. So Teflon for the good and Velcro for the bad. I've got a little video to share here of Dr. Rick himself talking about this. He's not affiliated with our business, but I just love the way he describes the brain. And I love the way he talks about this idea of Teflon and Velcro. So I'll just play this little video for you now. It's only about a minute long.
And I say it's like having a brain that's Velcro for the bad, but Teflon for the good. And we know what that's like. Every little bad thing kind of sticks to us. And all these good facts, good experiences, good moments kind of wash through us like water through a sieve. And the reason is, as our ancestors evolved and the nervous system evolved for 600 million years, basically our ancestors had two tasks: get carrots, avoid sticks, right? Carrots, food, mating opportunities; sticks, predators, hazards, aggression inside their band or between bands. All right. If you don't get a carrot today, you'll have a chance of one tomorrow. But if you fail to avoid that saber-toothed tiger or that alpha baboon in your primate troop, no more carrots forever.
He's quite blunt the way he talks about no more carrots forever. But it's this idea of Teflon for the good, Velcro for the bad. The way I think about this is, as good things happen in our life, we don't notice them as much. Our brain is wired to remember the bad. This is why they stick like Velcro. So he goes on and he has a practice called taking in the good. And taking in the good is rewiring our brain, the neuroplasticity of teaching our brain to notice the good things more. So the more we do this, our gratitude lists, focusing on our successes, the things we've done, the more our brain starts to notice these things more. So our ninja practice around this is the to-do list. And I absolutely love this. The to-do list is the list of things you've completed. If you're doing some of our ninja practices of like creating your 5 top priorities for the day, for example, the to-do list is looking at that list when you've done it or done some of them and looking at the things that you've ticked off or highlighted. I love the idea of actually highlighting the things we've completed rather than crossing them out. Highlighting them makes them stand out. This is a nice way of celebrating our to-do list, celebrating the things that we've completed. And it's a good idea to share this with your colleagues. Share this with someone you work with, share this with your team. Or if you're working on your own, share it with a friend. Like find another person who's working on their own, solopreneur or something like that, and share your to-do list with each other in a moment of success and enjoyment and getting this feeling of fulfillment. So as we're early on in today's session, we're still only 9 minutes in. I wanted to give you a moment for some reflection. Just a minute to think, how do I show up as human? Like, I know this is a very broad question at this stage, but how does human show up in my life in the positive sense or the struggling sense? Where does my humanness come through? And when do I pretend to be a superhero? When am I not really acknowledging my humanity, my humanness? When am I pushing through and, not really acknowledging I am an animal, I am a human? I just want to give you a minute to reflect on this. I know it's pretty broad at this point. Just a moment to reflect on that. All right, that's good awareness just to build at this point. We'll get into some of the detail now. One of the things we like to think about is, how can I support this humanness? How can I get myself to feel stronger, feel more focused, manage my attention better? So one of the things we like to focus on here is our fuel. How do we fuel our body and our brain the right way? So some of you would have seen the book Work Fuel, written by Graham and Collette. So Graham's the author of the Productivity Ninja book. and Colette was his nutritionist, and they got together and wrote this book together. And I will be giving away some copies of this at the end of today's webinar as well, by the way. So in WorkFuel, which has just been relaunched, by the way, as How to Have the Energy. So if you're looking for the book online, maybe look for this one, How to Have the Energy. Now, Sophie, I see your comment. Thank you. The volume is breaking up. Cannot get the full version of what is being said. Okay, I apologize for that. I'm on my office Wi-Fi here. Normally it's pretty good. I will just keep going because there's unfortunately not much I can do about that other than hopefully it comes and goes. Thank you. Thanks everyone for your comments there. When we're thinking about this fuel, one of the things that Graham and Colette talk about in WorkFuel and How to Have the Energy is this idea of eating the rainbow, making sure that at least half of our plate, half of our diet are rainbow plants, things of all different colors. Think eggplants, carrots, squash, tomatoes, raspberries, like we can almost go through the rainbow of foods here. And then making sure that some of our diet contains a decent amount of protein, so we're getting the right amount of amino acids to support our body and the right amount of carbohydrates, slow release carbohydrates being better for fuel, like our pumpkins, our turnips, our sweet potatoes, these kind of things, rather than necessarily our white potatoes, our rice, our bread. So just thinking about these carbohydrates. Now, we don't get into the nitty-gritty of nutrition at Think Productive in Australia because we're not nutritionists, but it's good to be thinking about these ways of fueling ourselves. The right fats, some fermented foods are good, and a big one, the right amount of hydration. So these things just make a huge difference. As soon as we start getting dehydrated, our brain function starts to struggle and we can feel ourselves, getting less and less and less focused. I just want to read some of these comments, mostly about the wind. Thank you. Amanda says, I find often the pressures from others, work or other people in general, that you expect to be superhero, not human, and just keep pushing on. Absolutely, Amanda. Often it is a pressure. We feel this pressure from others that we need to just keep pushing. And this is what today is all about. How do we turn that around and have the empowerment, the strength, the ninja ruthlessness to start saying no, to start pushing back on some of these demands? One of the important things that comes up in this space of feeling like we need to just keep pushing on is the importance of having breaks. So I want to share some research with you here. Some of you have seen this research before. It's from the Israeli Parole Board. And what this graph shows is over the course of a day, what decisions the judges were making were positive in terms of permitting parole or granting parole. And you can see that at the start of the day, they're quite a high level of parole was granted. And it started dropping down to the first break. Then it went back up, dropped down to the next break. Then it went back up. The important thing here is granting parole is a difficult decision. Granting parole is a decision that has a bit more risk applied to it. So what this research showed was when we're more fresh, we can make more difficult decisions. When we're more fresh, we can, take a bit more risk because we can weigh it up more. So this is the importance of taking breaks. Little breaks throughout the day. When we're working from home, when we're working hybrid, a lot of us are just grinding at our desk, particularly. A quick walk, a quick stand in the sun, whatever it is for you to make you feel good. We want to inspire in our teams, in our organizations, and in ourselves, a culture of being human. What I love about this slide is it shows this sort of super Wonder Woman kind of stance here, this superhero. But what's important to know here is that behind the mask that a lot of us are thinking about, behind the mask that Amanda was talking about in the chat there, we're human. We're human. Last night, I went to a friend's house for dinner to celebrate her birthday, and there was someone there that I hadn't met before. So I was chatting to them about their work because they started talking about their work, and start talking to a productivity ninja about their work. I was like, oh yeah, let's talk about your work. And she was commenting that she had this job, which she's not at anymore, but it was a really busy job. But she made this comment, but I've got a higher than normal capacity. I'm able to work at a really high level capacity. And when I left the job, they replaced me with 5 people. And I'm just thinking to myself, wow, this is interesting. I really want to get inside this. So the question I asked her was, that's really interesting. you mentioned you've got this higher level of capacity. Like, how do you do this? Like, what are your secrets? She didn't know I was a productivity ninja at this point. How do you do this? And then the truth came out. Then the human behind the mask came out and she said, you know what? The reason I left that job was because I burnt out. So sadly. So it's not the fact that she had a higher level of capacity that she could keep doing. She had a higher level of capacity, but unfortunately then hit the point of burnout. And that's what many of us find. If we're pushing and pushing and pushing, we will burn out eventually, sorry to say. So remember this, as we've got that mask on, which sometimes we might need to do, behind the mask is human. This is where we really need to look after ourselves as well. So how can we support ourselves to be human? And how can we support our teams to be more human? So we've got some ideas here, because I've sort of set up the field here that we're human, our brains are Teflon for the good, Velcro for the bad. You know, we need to take breaks. So booking team lunch breaks in the calendar at least once a week, getting your team or your colleagues together for lunch, have a break, even if it's virtual. You can still get online and eat your lunch together. It's an opportunity to connect. It's an opportunity to share. Celebrate failures. We've got a channel in our Slack, our global Slack that we use, which is a bit like using Microsoft Teams chat in our global Slack. We've got a channel where we celebrate our failures so we can learn from them, so we can share, so we can cleanse from those failures and not have to hang on to them. Bring in some celebrations around Fridays, like it's the end of the week, it's Friday, for example, and share some ta-das, share some success. Just get everyone in the team to maybe share one thing that they're celebrating. These are some really good ideas to just bring this human in. Provide healthy snacks and water when we're having meetings together in the office. Encourage people to be drinking more water. People are generally dehydrated. Lead by example. This idea of leaving loudly. When we're finished work for the day, put a message in Microsoft Teams or whatever tool you're using to communicate and say, bye everyone, I'm signing off for the day. I'll see you tomorrow. Like, leave loudly. A lot of us sneak, like pretend we're sneaking out the door at the end of the day so people don't know. And then we might keep answering emails and things, but no, leave loudly. I love this idea. And if you've got any more ideas, please pop them in the chat. I want to catch up on all this discussion that's going on in the chat here. There's a bit too much for me to read while I'm talking, but any more ideas? Leaving loudly. Thanks, Natalie. Leaving loudly is a wonderful tool. Another one I like here is Truth Tuesday we have in our business. Truth Tuesday. Truth Tuesday is an opportunity where we jump in Slack in our channel called Truth Tuesday. And people just share, how are you? Like, what's going on today? What's really going on in your life? Share a bit of a story about what's going on. Thankful Thursday, Martin. Thank you. I really like that. Any other ideas in the chat here? I want to read Rena's comment. Through COVID, we set up a weekly meeting that was a catch-up where no work was allowed to be spoken. I like that. So a weekly meeting where you would not talk work. Dropped off a little, but trying to bring it back. Yeah, that's a great idea. Have a meeting. Don't talk about work, even if there's a bit of silence. Like, give people a chance to connect with each other in that way. Great ideas. Walking meetings. Yeah, thanks, Anna. That's a great idea as well. Encourage people to get up and walk so you can have your meetings walking. Jackie says we have one day a week with all staff in the office and have a 10-minute chill and chat. I like that. Nice one. So here's a bit of action planning for you all to have a moment to think before I keep talking. What are you going to do for yourself? What are you going to do for yourself this week to encourage your humanness or support your humanness? What can you do as a result of seeing all these great ideas? And what will you do for your team? See if you can get 2 or 3 things under each question here. I'll give you a couple of minutes to reflect on this. What are you going to do for yourself? What are you going to do for your team? 2 or 3 ideas under each category. There's some great ideas in the chat. 45-minute meetings, not 60. I love it. Not back to back. Thank you, Sam. If you want to put your ideas in the chat, please do it. I'll try and read them out for the sake of the recording because there's some great ideas here. Thankful Thursday also correlates with payday. Yeah, that's a good one, Martin. People will be a bit happier on payday. Consider a healthy lunch a win. Yes, Cecilia, thank you. Meditation, Rebecca, thank you. Yeah, something for yourself. This is a good thing to think about. What can I do for myself? For me, it's getting out on my mountain bike because I know that that's what I love. And that's the thing that makes me feel really good. Looking after myself, making rest a priority. That's a great one, Amy. I have a little saying about rest, which is resting is investing. Resting is investing in our future self. Some really great suggestions here. Make exercise a priority. Hiking. Oh, these comments are coming in fast now. Thank you. Playing with your pet during the day. Yeah, I love giving my dog a bit of a snuggle during the day. Make time for exercise. Don't eat in front of the computer. Yes. I worked with one client who said in the office, no one was allowed to eat at their desk, partly for hygiene and cleanliness reasons, but it was more around wellness, it was more around encouraging people to go to the kitchen and socialize, get together. So no eating at the desk, get outside for breaks. Thank you for all these comments, everyone. Make time to get outside. Saturday was a lazy rest day. Sunday did a big hike with 2 waterfalls. Being in nature. Nice work, Amy. All right, so I'll let you all read these comments. That's fantastic. Sounds like louder. Okay, thanks. One, don't know if it was, but one of our clients. Yeah, absolutely. So let me keep going. Thank you for all those comments. I hope that gave you a chance to reflect and you've got a bit of an action plan for yourself. So make those the things that you go and do as a result of this session. Unless we go and actually put things into practice, you know, this session won't make any difference. I'm going to share all the resources with you as well. What we've talked about, our humanness and our brains, this idea of the fact that making mistakes often gets us into freeze mode, getting the right fuel, the right balance in our diet, the importance of taking breaks. Taking breaks makes it easier to make those difficult decisions, and how to create a culture of human, how to get into our team, some of these ideas, and there's so many good ideas in the chat here. I'll be putting these in the YouTube recording as well, because there's so many great ideas. So much to think about here. So as we wrap up, huge thank you to everyone for coming along today. I hope you found this useful. I've just got some information to share about some upcoming events and gifts for everyone. So I do want to give everyone a Christmas, or the opportunity for a Christmas gift today. We are giving away 3 copies of Work Fuel. So we can really get into that idea of nutrition. I'll share with you how to access potentially one of those 3 copies of Work Fuel in a minute. We've got a whole stack of workshops we can run for your team. This is what we mostly do, our in-house workshops around communication, productivity, obviously, fixing meetings, delegation, email management, getting your inbox to zero, leading hybrid teams. We've got some upcoming public workshops. So most of our work is our in-house workshops, but we are running a whole series of public workshops coming up. And I want to show you where to access these. I know I'm sharing my screen with you now. If you go to our Think Productive website, thinkproductive.com.au, and you click on Invest in Yourself courses, this is where you can get all the access and all the details about the public workshops. So I'm just going to put that in the chat for you. And also on the website, just so you know, the upcoming Ninja Skill Boosters are always under free resources. You can go to free resources and click on free webinars, and you can see our upcoming Ninja Skill Boosters. So just go to thinkproductive.com.au and click on any of these menus up here. In addition to that, our next Ninja Skill Booster is Cut the Christmas Overwhelm. Ninja Julie's going to be running this one. So I'll just grab the link for you here so it's easy for you. Cut the Christmas Overwhelm. I'll put this in the chat for you. That's our free Ninja Skill Booster coming up on the 9th of December. Julie's going to take you through the sheet that you can see on the slide here with some really good sort of planning ideas for wrapping up the year with success, dealing with this idea that it's such a busy time of year. We really need to bring in our human, not superhero here, and, you know, acknowledge that we probably can't get everything done before the end of the year. Everyone wants everything done before the end of the year, but we can focus on the important things. So join us for that free webinar, 9th of December. Once again, here are my contact details. You are part of our community. Everyone that's here today, thank you so much for being part of our Ninja community. Please get in touch. We're here to support you as much as we possibly can. Now the work fuels. Yeah, thanks, Julie. I'm just about to show that. You thought I forgot. But to have access to win a copy of Work Fuel in the next hour, you don't have to jump in and do this now. Please email us at hello@thinkproductive.com.au with the subject Work Fuel list. Yes, please. And I'll be choosing 3 random entries to win a copy of Work Fuel. Everyone will win a prize of some sort. Everyone's a winner today. Everyone will get a Christmas gift of some sort. So yeah, just send us an email to hello@thinkproductive.com.au. And please stay in touch. Thank you so much for coming along today. If anyone has any questions, please pop them in the chat, and have a wonderful day. See you all around Ninja Land shortly. I'll just stop the recording.